So check this out. This is the spirea I just moved. It's covered in buds. This is the forsythia that I trimmed the other day. I mean, couldn't ask for more buds. And then the blue in the back is periwinkle. I'd say the periwinkle and the snowdrop are the first flowers to come up even before crocus. And there's the peony. And here's this area on another day. Weeping pussy willow has, I mean, it's still alive, that's for sure. So I definitely treated it badly, but I think it's gonna be okay. Sorry. And then here's the coral peonies that I trimmed in a video not too long ago. They're pretty thick. Okay, I did something kind of crazy. I added not one, not two, but three garden plots where I'm going to volunteer. So one of them's really big and super overgrown, another one's full shade, and then the third one is just me helping somebody who is there. It's kind of smaller, but I don't know if I can do this. Anyway, right now I'm going to check it out. Sky is crazy cool today. It's been just a couple days and this is how the succulent has grown since the video I made about how to maintain it in spring. It's been about 2 days. Still a little bit of grass in there, but it's growing pretty fast. And these are those same crocus that I kind of filmed at the end of that same video. These white ones are pretty much done, I'd say. I guess this one's newer. And there are other ones now. The white ones were not up at all last time I came here. And then not too far from those, we have hyacinth. Okay, right now I'm in the second plot. I'm cleaning out these roses from the leaves, and I noticed this. Is that more rose? Doesn't look like it. This other rose has a ton of something else growing in it. So I think I'm gonna let it grow this year and then figure out what exactly it is and then take any necessary actions. I'm probably gonna dig it up, separate it from whatever plant that is, and go from there. Not sure if I'm gonna keep the rose at all. If you have any idea what these could be, let me know. You know, what it is growing in the roses, and we can compare later and see if that's actually what it is. Actually, there's some more of this other type of sprout next to this other rose, so I don't know. Now this thing growing out of the ground right here is a tulip, and that is a daffodil, I believe. If you choose to prune roses, just know that you will get pricked. There's no way out of it. If you wear gloves, you'll get pricked. If you don't, you'll get pricked. Yeah, if you were one of those people that has never been pricked doing roses, tell me your secret, because it hurts. But some roses are worth the pain. Looking at that leaf right there, I'm starting to think it's some kind of a daisy. Same with that like little tube. It used to be a stem. Looks like the daisy one, so let me know if you agree. So with a rose, ideally you want to cut right above a bud node that is going outwards, like this one. It grows away from the center of the bush. So you would cut right there. If I would have cut above this node, then the next branch would grow that way. That's why I cut above that node. That way it's gonna grow out. Because this node is on like a browning part of the stem, I'm gonna try to find one that goes out down lower in the green part. So because this node right here is sticking out that way, I'm going to cut above it, because even though it's not going exactly the direction I want, at least it's not going inward. So I really took it down. I could have cut above any one of these nodes on this stem, or just left these and they'd all grow little branches, but cutting it down makes the plant stronger. So the branches coming out of, where is it? This one will be stronger instead of having a bunch of really weak branches. Then of course anything that's dead like this stuff needs to go. So I'm just gonna cut that off until I see some greenery. greener down there. Here's the branch I just cut. You can tell at this end it's like totally brown. These look kind of dead. And then at the end there's a little bit of green. So I cut right under where that, where the green starts. You can see there's some life at the end of that stem, but it's more alive lower. That's where I cut it there. And ouch. If I cut, sorry, there's a plane. If I cut into the brown part, oops, you'll see it's just brown. And then if I cut, in comparison to this other end, I don't know, is this even interesting? Still brown. So yeah, anyway, I guess I'm just trying to show that it's dead inside. I guess I should show the other end. This side is dead completely, and then this side has a little bit of the green in it. Kind of reminds me of my finger, actually, from when I cut it. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just gonna take off all the brown stems, hoping there's a bud that faces outward. But if I don't find one, oh, here's a good example. Sorry, it's shaky, I'm in a weird position, but see, it's like brown here and then green down here. So I want to cut above this bud, because this bud will grow that way. If I cut above this one, it's gonna grow this way, and that's gonna create a problem. I'm just gonna cut above this node, and I'm doing it at a slant because rumor has it that, well, that was a good cut. Anyway, you're supposed to cut it right without having anything jagged. Anyway, the reason I cut it at a slant is because so that the rain will roll off, or any moisture, so it doesn't pool at the top. Here's another branch that has seen better days, and again, it's just dead. So we have to find a node that's coming out like this way. That one looks pretty good. The only problem is the green kind of stops right here. So I don't know if it's that great, but I'm gonna cut it anyway, right there, because all the other buds go inward. It's gonna grow away from the center. Don't poke yourself. I don't know the point of that cut, except it was dead. There's buds all over this thing. So I'm just trying to assess what to cut, and like this branch has a little bud going out that way, so that's perfect. And now it'll grow that way. This branch is like squiggled and then kind of dying up here. So I'm trying, there are no buds that are growing out. This one, I guess, is the best. Maybe that one, I don't know. So I'm just gonna pick one, this one. This is completely dead. Here, I don't see any buds at the bottom. It's almost like that branch is pointless because nothing is gonna grow. Or maybe it will, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna skip the complicated ones. Here's a big one. Seems like the main one, but look, it goes from here in the center and crosses over there. Dare I cut it? I dare not. I am going to take it down to here though. That seems pretty open. Almost looks like there's a bug in there. Is that a bug? Can't see. Another dead branch right here that doesn't give anything good. Actually, it seems like there's a whole dead section here. Yeah, let's see if I can get it out. Oh, it's tight. I can't fit in there. At least not with those other ones. There we go. Where'd it go? Oh. I feel like you can breathe better now. There's a little something. Okay, so I'm looking at this one and I don't see any buds here, but I'm thinking this might be a little node of something that might create a plant. So nothing above it will, or like a stem. So I'm just gonna cut that off. There. You can kind of see this plant is separate, but there are parts of the rose in it too, so it's kind of hard to clean it up. This is totally dead. It's really windy right now. This part of the rose is totally dead, and it has a ton of buds on it, but the stem's kind of thin. I think I'm gonna go below or past this node, which is making it go like in a weird direction. I want it to go out, so I'm gonna cut above this little node right there. Actually, maybe even lower to this node. So now it's just gonna grow that way. Here, this little node broke off. It's right near where it died, so I don't know. I didn't cut this today, I don't think. Maybe I did. But that's not low enough, I guess. I mean, the bud does look alive, so maybe it would have been fine, but I don't know, I might have broken it off just now or something, so I'm just gonna cut it above this node right there. And this is attached to it. It's totally dead all the way down to here, so for now I'm just gonna cut it there, and then I'm gonna assess it a little more. This is such a dinky branch. Do we even need it? Maybe I'll just cut that off too. I think this is probably a good example of a plant growing inward, or like stems growing inward. They shouldn't be there, but the problem is it's the only thing that's alive, and I don't see any nodes on the other side. So I might just leave it and cut off the dead part like this. There's a hole. That's pretty much it. I don't think this rose should even be here. It's right above another rose, so I'll probably move it. Plus it's red, and we're trying to go for a purple and white color scheme in this garden. So okay, so here's another rose. It still has leaves and stuff. It's a carpet rose. Here, the remainder of the flowers. Sorry about the shade. Shadow. You can see firsthand right here why crossing branches are a problem. The wind is blowing, probably ruining the audio. But see, it's like rubbing and rubbing and rubbing, and every movement just rubs on that branch, and that's not good. So we're gonna get rid of this one. But if you look further, if you investigate further, you know what, I'm trying to do this with my phone and it's not working. There we go. That is where it's rubbing. When the wind blows, it rubs. So, but if you look down, it's coming from that branch, and that branch over there is going across the middle, causing problems over here. So this is a carpet rose, and I'm not too familiar, so maybe you're supposed to leave it that way, but for most roses and other plants, you want to get rid of things like that. So I'm just going to cut it somewhere over there, hopefully above a bud that will then grow the other way. Ouch. First of all, there's grass growing in the center. Let's see if I can get it with the roots. Kind of got it. So there's the culprit. Oh, I'm stuck. And it goes over here. And then on this side, it already has a branch coming out that way. And also one coming out that way. I guess that's the trunk. So I think I'm just gonna cut it above this branch. Okay. Ouch. Not easy to take it out. Here we have another troublemaker. That little branch is coming from this bigger one. I think I'm going to take it down all the way to right there. Even though I don't see any like reddish pinkish growth, it still looks pretty strong, so I think we're just going to go for it. This is the branch that's been having issues with other branches, and I'm going to take it down to, I just saw the perfect node. Where is it? All the way down to either this node right here or this one. I think I'm going to go for the lower one since this rose grows fast. That seemed harsh, but it'll be fine. And then this one is kind of going through the center a little bit, so I'm gonna cut that off. Ouch. I'm just doing this. I don't know if this is normal or not, but I just cut these in the bucket because otherwise they don't sit right. And then, you know, I use my foot to push it down. This looks like a perfectly harmless dead branch, but it's not harmless. It hurts. Okay, so I'm almost done. I'm still cleaning stuff up, like leaves, and there's a walnut. Don't ask, don't tell, I guess. Oh no, it's a peach. There's a bonfire patio peach right here. So anyway, I noticed there's some sedum or something growing there, but also new rose parts. This could be different than the rest of it because most roses are grafted. I'm not going to pretend to know much about that, but anyway, there's a new bud right there, so The part that looks kind of empty will fill in from those two things. And I'm still gonna cut this. If I can. Oof. There. I did accidentally cut off a bud, or I don't know, maim this bud, and it's pretty much the last one that I can see, at least from my viewpoint. I guess I'm just gonna leave it and see what happens. Although I guess it's an opening for disease, but it's a test. And there's the finished product. Harsh, but you'll see, it's gonna go back. Maybe I need a wheelbarrow for this mess. By the way, this is one of the gardens that I'm going to be helping with. And this one. And then this is the shade garden. There's another one, and you can see little buds on it all along the stems. There it is, the last rose. Looks almost non-existent, but it's nice and clean. I'm just making some space in this wheelbarrow by cutting anything that's sticking up, which is pretty much everything. And then everything ends up being flat in here, and I can add more things, and I don't get snagged every 5 seconds. You could keep going and going and going, but you get the picture. It's way flatter and easier to manage and less dangerous. Remember that stuff I was saying? I was wondering what it is that's growing. It might be rose. I'm just checking out the other plants in the area, and that's a tulip right there. It's like smooth perfection.